Yo, peace everybody. So this weekend we managed to see two first round knockouts simultaneously. And I know for a lot of the fight fans, or I should say the fiends, we tend to have to be put into situations where we're watching things on either TV and or laptop and vice versa. In the modern day of boxing where, some of these cards intersect with each other. But needless to say, we got two first round knockouts. And we saw it on ESPN Plus with the Cepeda knocking out Josu Vargas. That was crazy. And the guy I'm about to talk about right now, I gotta say, top three, if not, some would consider the top future boxing star that I think we're going to be talking about in these years to come, and that's obviously Jaron Boots Ennis, as he scored his first round knockout over the veteran now Thomas Delorme. And I mean, there's not much to pick from the fight itself. I mean, it was, you kind of saw Ennis again, the bigger guy, younger, fresher, faster, stronger, and usually those recipes don't pan out well especially when you're facing a veteran like Delorme, who, listen, man, I never put him at an elite level, but he was always like a fringe contender that you had to kind of go through to get to the next pagoda level. You know what I'm saying? But look, regardless of that, Jaron Ennis, without a doubt, has become the proverbial boogeyman and of the welterweight division. And at one point, Errol Spence held that title. Terrence Crawford held that title, at least in recent years. But Jaron Ennis, by all accounts at this point, he clearly is filling into that position because he's somebody that, as whether you're Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford or either Keith Thurman, like, you're not wanting to fight this guy right now. And if you are even somebody at like whether you're a Virgil Ortiz, or if you're right there as far as notoriety and future star status, and do you want to make that fight right now? So his next year in 2022 is going to be rather interesting because myself, train, shout out to the, guard, follow at Guards Grow Boxing. We talked about this, and I feel Boots is in a potentially, not saying it will happen, but he's potentially in a position where he might be forced to move out of the division. If it means certain things. I mean, if he continues to make the weight, or if he has trouble making the weight as, this next year goes on, and if he's not able to land like a notable fight. Now, I know the WBA is trying to consolidate the titles. Your Dennis Ugas has the Super Championship. We saw, this weekend, the can't pronounce dude's name. Jamal James and I'm drawing a blank as far as the guy he lost to, that stopped him. I'm assuming the WBA is going to try to consolidate that version of the titles, and I'll say that whatever culminates from Crawford Porter, and again, I've made my prediction on that fight, but if Crawford comes out of that and Errol Spence has what we think is a comeback fight in February, March, maybe, are we at this point just looking at Crawford Spence and it being the priority? Like, I think the answer is yeah, from both sides. So that really leaves Boots in a position that it might kind of be another year like this year, where he got, just showcase fights. And granted, Delorme, again, another fringe contender, or known as, and he disposed of him. But he's supposed to do stuff like this. I think if he had trouble with Delorme, and I know people are pointing out that, Delorme landed a solid right hand, and trust me, I saw that. But what I'll say with Boots is that he seems to be transparent of the things he needs to work on. He mentioned this in the last fight. He does need to work on his defense a little bit. But that being said, he's still gonna be a problem. Like, as far as again, he's at that stage where he's passed the eye test with a lot of us, but you're trying to map out the next couple of years as far as the matchmaking, okay? And that's very, very important, man. And it's something that I feel me and Train have had this conversation where Top Rank, I feel, sometimes doesn't get noted as it concerns the matchmaking they done for the guys, like historically, whether it's Cotto, Floyd, Oscar, they put them in like these fights that would get a gauge of future business, you know. And I think in this instance with Boots, they just have to figure out what that will be. But again, to the point of me saying there's a potential of him moving up, it's really if they can't find notable fights. Because I'll tell you, at 154, and Boots, even more so than Errol Spence, can fight at 154 tomorrow. And I think he probably will be stronger and just as fast. So, but we'll see. I just don't, I get people want to see Crawford and Spence in there with him, but a lot of y'all know, like, that's not going to happen. So, I'm just being realistic of the options. And even somebody like Keith Thurman, like, what's it worth? Is it worth his while to go fight Jaron Ennis? I don't know. You know, I just think there's Boots is just gonna have more fights similar to what he had this past Saturday, maybe a little more competitive, but I don't think he's gonna get a crack at the upper echelon, honestly, guys, until probably 2023. He's young though, man, and I don't like to just say that to like give him an out. But I think we have to see the welterweight division kind of finally culminate with Crawford and Spence. And I think after that is when we're going to see whether Boots stays at welterweight or he ventures up to 154, which, mind you, there's fights up there too, man. So, but I mean, I'm excited about this kid's future. He's really good. Needs a touch up, again, just to tighten the defense. But overall, boxing ability wise, speed, power, again, size, a lot. That trifecta, a lot of times, man, is a good start. It's just now getting those rounds in, gaining the experience, and matching them well, you know, and giving them some tests. But we'll see, man. In any case, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about Jaron Boots Ennis, his performance, you know, or, you know, for as long as it lasted against Thomas Delorme. Who would you like to see him realistically fight next early in 2022? So let me know what you think. Follow us at Guard Your Good Boxing. Follow me at Roberto_Flack. Appreciate all the likes, subscribes, follows, all that. So